everybody, E here. Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to Stephen King Ranked. Let's just jump right into it. At number 30, we have Stephen King's second novella collection, 4 Past Midnight. This has some great stories in it. The Langoliers is a treat. The Library Policeman is a treat. And let's see here. Secret Window, Secret Garden, The Sundog. Hi, Bill. I know how much you love the Merrill clan. But this one, like I said, it's a treat. It's a whole lot of fun. Like I said last week, these 10 books, last week and this week, are just kind of thrown in here. I kind of like them all the same. They're kind of all good to great. Maybe not amazing, but good to great. And this is one of those. I have a I have a conflicted love for the Library Policeman. There's some really gnarly content in there, but I believe that it is balanced well by the other stories in here, especially Secret Window, Secret Garden, which is kind of like a realistic twist on the dark half, and then you have the Langoliers, which is just balls out fun. There's a whole lot of fun to be had with that book, with the concept of these creatures just literally devouring time. So yeah, it's number 30, 4 Past Midnight. And at number 29 is Gwendy's Magic, no, sorry, not Gwendy's Magic Anything. That's not a Stephen King book. Gwendy's Button Box. There's a lot of discussion about whether or not Stephen King wrote any of this book. After reading Gwendy's Magic Feather, I feel more validated saying that he did, because there was something magical missing in Gwendy's Magic Feather. It's just missing all the magic. This one had that magic for me, and I loved it a lot. I loved Gwendy, loved getting to know her. Maybe I liked her as a younger person. That might be another thing that killed my like of the sequel. You will not find Gwendy's Magic Feather on this list, of course, because Stephen King might have written the foreword or whatever. I don't know, but he didn't actually write the book with Chismar. This one, I've always enjoyed stories about items that grant wishes, and this was one of those. And there's a scene in here in the coin when she goes to see the coin collector that I really loved. There was something about the back and forth that was very Stephen King to me, whereas in Magic Feather, and I hate that I'm comparing the two, but I think it's rather obvious now that Gwendy's Magic Feather is out that King at least had some kind of say-so in this book. But there's a back and forth there, and it was very King-like. So Richard Chismar, if you ever watch this or see this, and Stephen King had nothing to do with this one, and you're sitting back chuckling, you captured some of that magic, and then you lost it with Magic Feather. So yeah, this is number 29. And at number 28, we have Geralds Game. I didn't like this book at all first time I read it. I think that's a running theme for the stuff here in the middle. The second time that I read it, I loved it, and I love the Mike Flanagan adaptation. This one, I had so many thoughts that there was going to be something supernatural by the end of the story, and maybe there is a little bit of the supernatural in here, but it's only hinted at. Of course, I can never remember the dude in the corner. I always want to call him the cowboy, Midnight Cowboy. Is that right? I don't know. Let me know down there in the doobly-doo. But the degloving scene is gnarly as hell. I really enjoy that scene, and I just like the idea that this book is 300 and some odd pages. Let me go ahead and check just how many. 332 pages. And for the majority of the book, this woman is handcuffed to a bed. But my favorite part of the book is how the twist at the end, I'm not going to give anything away, but that's my favorite part of the book, is that final scene talking about the courtroom. I really enjoyed that. For the longest time, everyone thought that it would be impossible to film this, and Flanagan basically laughed in the faces of all of them. It was the same with Dr. Sleep. people were worried, you know, how are you going to make a sequel to Kubrick's film, you know, or a sequel, or actually, and a faithful adaptation of Doctor Sleep, and he absolutely killed it. But yeah, so this one is number 28, I think. Yeah, number 28. This, there's also, I want to talk about this too. I don't want to go into a full-blown review, but in the section with the flashback and the father and that completely disgusting scene during the eclipse, I love how it ties into Dolores Claiborne and the themes of that book. I guess it's I've heard some people call this the eclipse duology. It's a very, very loose connection between these two, other than, you know, the eclipse. But that scene really, truly bothers me, and one of the reasons why it bothers me is because of the way the father handles it. It's like he believes that he didn't really do anything wrong because it was all outside of the clothes, kind of thing. And I remember that bothering me on a very, very visceral level. But anyways, so yeah, that's number 20 something. Number 28, Geralds Game. And at number 27, I hope I got that right, is Just After Sunset. This is my favorite Stephen King collection after Night Shift. Yeah, all the rest of them are down farther on the list. Night Shift will, of course, be above it because it's my favorite Stephen King collection. I mean, it's got gray matter in there. It's got another one for the road, or whatever it's called, down the road. It's got battleground, battlefield, whatever it's called. And yes, I'm terrible with names, especially the short stories, but this one is easily my second favorite. Some standouts for me is the Gingerbread Girl. I'm gonna go through. In fact, I talked about this in my review of for If It Bleeds. I think it's up by now. I'm not sure. How Harvey's dream felt a bit like Mr. Harrigan's phone, but expanded. I really like that. Rest Stop's great. Stationary Bike's cool. N is in here. I mean, come on, N. A Very Tight Place. The motherfucker. Yeah, that's one of the coolest concepts for a story that King has ever done. And yes, I get a lot of comments about this, but I'm going to go ahead and finally say it. Yes, this book is out of place. It changes, it goes around, it travels around. And I do this to mess with my buddy Cody Tidwell, because he's a bit OCD about the order of books. So Cody, if you're watching, haha. But yeah, so this one is number 27. Just After Sunset. Yeah. Hi, Cody. And at number 26, the last book of the week, and get this mustache hair out of my lip, is Mr. Mercedes. I'm not going to talk too much about this book. I'm just going to tell you the overall gist of why I like it. Why I loved it as much as I did. Now, Colorado Kid and Joyland were both published with Hard Case Crime, right? If any books throughout the entire Stephen King lexicon should have been Hard Case Crime, it was this series. But I had never read anything like this from Stephen King at length. He's got some short stories that can be considered detective fiction or noir or whatever, like Mr. Umbra's Last Case, something like that. I can't remember. But this one, man, I dug every single minute of it. And it introduced me to Holly Gibney, which is basically a gender swap me. I am that OCD. I am that big on research. I am that much of a neurotic, bipolar mess. That is me, just with different parts, you know? That's why I love Holly Gibney, because she reminds me of myself. And I keep trying to tell people, if you think Holly Gibney is annoying, you wouldn't want to hang out with me, bruh. Anyways, so this one is number 26 on the list, and it felt like, even though it wasn't wholly original, it wasn't original at all, it felt original for King. I like to see someone in their autumn and winter years, might as well just call him winter years, he's in his 70s, I like to see someone like that still trying to do something different, which is what Dean Koontz has never done. He just keeps writing the same thing over and over and over again. And Stephen King, while you might laugh that every book has a psychic, or that every single book is about a small town, or the themes are usually different, or the genre is usually different. And that's what I love about Stephen King. And when he came out with this, I just blew right through it, man, even though I didn't care too much for Bill Hodges. But I think the reason why, I think I didn't even realize that I didn't like Bill Hodges until Finders Keepers, when he wasn't there, and I was fine with it, and then he came back, and I was like, ugh. But anyways, ooh, loud truck. Anywho, so that is number 26, Mr. Mercedes. So that's it for this week. If any of your favorite Stephen King books are on this list, any of the ones that you hate the most are on this list, I'd love to know down there in the doobly-doo. Another thing is, I am going to be, I know I've been wearing the same shirt for this. I've been filming all day today, and I'm exhausted. So if I'm not as exuberant as I was in the other video, as I was in the other videos, that's why. I'm tired. I will start back up tomorrow with a different shirt, I promise. But until next time, I have been E, you have been you. I hope you're not as tired as me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.